Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie him to an item from the Dollar Tree. Now, this is for the 19th Sunday after Pentecost, and we're looking at Genesis and we're looking at Mark, and they both have to do with marriage, they both have to do with becoming a household, have to do with relationships, and that's really what we're dealing with, is relationships. I'm not going to dive into the idea of marriage, and I'm not going to dive into the idea of a man and woman and all that, because God brings so many different types of relationships together, but it's about how we are called together and how we are called to belong to one another. So the item I'm using is a book. I'm using the book, this one I'm just using 101 Dalmatians, but it doesn't matter. It can be any book, and there's two options you can do here. One is either you can rip out a page, or if you have if it's a small thin book, you can undo the staples and you can pull out a page. And the idea is you're going to have just one page. And the nice thing about having it ripped out, and I know it's like my older brother would just freak out because ripping up a book, and I understand that. So that's why I'm giving you the staple option. But having a page ripped out, and you've got the page and you read it, and the idea is that one page doesn't tell the entire story. That page belongs to something greater, belongs to the entire book. And so you can pull out the page and go, the twilight bark reached the old sheepdog called the colonel who lived on a farm. I don't get what that's all about. And that you only have you only have a page from the book, and that talking about the kids will point out that you don't have the entire book, you don't have the entire story, and that putting that together with the entire story fills it out. And that we as people of God, as humans, are called to be in relationship with one another, that we help create the entire body. And that idea of the body of Christ, the idea that we're called together, that your gifts come together, my gifts come together, and we flush out and we make out the body of Christ. So that's the idea I'm using, is that we belong, and we belong together, and when we are put together, we create a bigger picture that God has in mind. So there we are. I hope it's good as springboard. Trust me, this is a hard text to deal with for a children's sermon, because you've got kids where all kinds of makeups of family. You've got divorced kids of divorced families. You've got kids of single parent families. You've got kids of same-sex families. You've got kids of all kinds. So you want to be careful as you talk about this that they hear God's grace. This is important. God's grace needs to be heard on this, and this is where I think this works, is that talking about that God calls us into relationship, and that how God makes up that relationship looks different, but it's God calling us together. So again, I hope this is a springboard for you for your children's sermon, and as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a blessed week.